Good evening. The book I have right now is Martin Heidegger's The Breman Lectures. I'm going to be reading from the first chapter. It's called The Thing. How do things stand with nearness? How can we experience this essence, its essence? Nearness, it seems, cannot be immediately found. We sooner achieve this by pursuing what is in the vicinity. In the vicinity are what we customarily name things. But what is a thing? How long has the human observed and questioned things? How variously has he used them, and indeed even used them up, and guided by such intentions? How insistently has he also explained the things that has led them back to their causes? The human has proceeded in this manner with things for a long time, and he is even still so proceeding, without ever once in all this considering the thing as thing. Up to now, the human has considered the thing as a thing just as little as he has considered nearness. The jug is a thing. What is a jug? What is a jug? We say a vessel, that which holds another in itself. What does the holding of the jug, what does the holding in the jug are the base and the side. This holding itself can be held by the handle. As a vessel, the jug is something that stands on its own. This standing on its own characterizes the jug as something independent. As the self-standing of something independent, the jug is distinguished from an object. Something independent can become an object when we represent it to ourselves, be it in immediate perception, be it in a thoughtful remembrance that makes it present. The thinghood of the thing, however, does not reside in the thing, becoming the object of a representation, nor can the thinghood of the thing at all be determined by the objectivity of the object. Not even when we take the opposition of the object as not simply due to our representation, but rather leave the opposition of the object itself as its own affair. The jug remains a vessel, whether we represent it or not. As a vessel, the jug stands on its own. But what does this mean? That what holds would stand on its own. Does the standing on its own of the vessel already define the jug as a thing? To be sure, the jug stands as a vessel only insofar as it was brought to stand. Of course, this occurred, and it does so occur through opposing, posing. Namely, through a producing period. The potter completes the earthen jug from out of the earth that has been especially selected and prepared for it. The jug consists of this. By virtue of what it consists of, the jug is also able to stand upon the earth, be it directly, be it indirectly, upon a table and bench, What subsists through such production is what stands on its own. If we take the jug to be a produced vessel, then it indeed appears that we grasp it as a thing and by no means a mere object. Or do we even now still take the jug as an object? Just so. To be sure, it no longer counts as solely the object of a mere representation, but it is the object that a producing delivers and puts here, placing it up against us and across from us. Standing on its own seemed to characterize the jug as a thing. In truth, we nevertheless think this standing on its own in terms of production. Standing on its own is that toward which producing is directed. Standing on its own is therefore still thought, and despite everything is ever still thought in terms of an objectivity. Even if the objective stance of what is produced is no longer grounded in a mere representing, indeed, from the objectivity of the object and the objectivity of what is self-standing, no road leads to the thinghood of the thing. What is it that is thing-like in the thing? What is the thing in itself? We only arrive at the thing in itself if our thinking has previously reached the thing as thing. What is it that is thing-like in the thing? What is the thing itself? We only arrive at the thing in itself if our thinking has previously reached the thing as thing. The jug is a thing as a vessel. To be sure, this holder requires a producing, but the production by the potter by no means constitutes what is proper to the jug insofar as it is a jug. The jug is not a vessel because it was produced. Rather, the thing must be produced because it is this vessel. The producing lets the jug freely enter into its own. Freeing sort, maybe. Yet the essence of the jug's own is never completed by a producing. Let loose through its completion, the jug gathers itself in what is its own so as to hold. In the process of production, however, the jug must show its outward appearance to the producer beforehand. But this self-showing, this outward appearing, characterizes the jug solely in the respect that the vessel stands across from the production as something to be set here. What the vessel in this outward appearing is a jug. What the vessel in this outward appearing is as jug. What and how the jug is as this jug thing can never be experienced, much less appropriately thought, with regard to the outward appearance, the idea. For this reason, Plato, who represented the presence of what is present in the basis of the outward appearance, thought the essence of things as little as Aristotle and all subsequent thinkers. Setting the standard for what was to come, Plato had much more experience to all presencing as the object of a producer instead of object. We say more precisely what stands here in the full essence of what stands here. A twofold standing here holds sway. On the one hand, standing here in the sense of a stemming from, be this a bringing forth of oneself or a being produced, on the other hand, a standing here in the sense where what is brought forth stands here in the concealment of what is already presencing. Swapping out for the coffee. We are in the middle of page 7. All representing of what presences in the sense of something standing here and of something objective, however, never reaches the thing as thing. The thinghood of the jug lies in that it is as a vessel. We become aware of what does the holding in the vessel when we fill the jug. The base and the size obviously take over the holding, but not so fast. When we fill the jug with wine, do we pour the wine into the sides and base? We pour the wine at most between the sides and upon the base. Sides and base are indeed what is impermeable in the vessel, but the impermeable is not yet what holds. When we fill up the jug, in the filling, the pour flows into the empty jug. The empty is what holds in the vessel. The empty and the impermeable is what holds. Both invisible things. The empty is nothing. This nothing in the jug is what the jug is as a holding vessel. Yet the jug does consist of sides and base. By virtue of what the jug consists of, it stands. What would a jug be if it did not stand? At the very least, a failed jug. And therefore, always still a jug, namely one that indeed would hold, but as constantly toppling over, it is a vessel that spills, but only a vessel can spill. The sides and the base of which the jug consists and by which it stands are not what properly do the holding. But if this lies in the emptiness of the jug, then the potter who shapes the sides and base upon the potter's wheel does not actually finish the jug. He only forms the clay. No, he forms the emptiness. for this emptiness within it, and from out of it he shapes the clay into a figure. The potter grasps first and constantly what is ungraspable in the empty and produces it as what holds in the form of a vessel. The empty of the jug determines every grip of the production. The thinghood of the vessel by no means rests in the material of which it consists, but instead of the emptiness that holds. Emptiness equals thinghood. But is the jug really empty? The physical sciences assure us that the jug is filled with air, and with all that constitutes the compound mixture of air, we let ourselves be deceived by a semi-poetic manner of observation in calling upon the emptiness of the jug. But as soon as we leave this aside, so as to investigate the actual jug scientifically and in regards to its actuality, then another state of affairs shows itself. If we pour wine into the jug, we merely force out the air that already fills the jug and replace it with fluid. Getting this, Mom? Taking notes? Viewed scientifically, to fill the jug means to exchange one filling for another. These suppositions of physics are correct. By means of them, science represents something actual according to which it objectively judges. But is this actual something the jug? No. Science only ever encounters that which its manner of representation has previously admitted as a possible object for itself. It is said that the knowledge of science is compelling, certainly, but what does its compulsion consist of? In our case, in the compulsion to relinquish the jug filled with wine and to put in its place a cavity in which the fluid expands. Science makes the jug thing into something negligible, insofar as the thing is not admitted as the standard. I think we could maybe switch it to 7:30. You want to do that?
I was going to go up and get dressed now. Yeah, is that better for you?
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if we can.
Yeah, thank you. These suppositions of physics are correct. By means of them, science represents something actual according to which it objectively judges. But is this actual something the jug? No. Science only ever encounters that which its manner of representation has previously admitted as a possible object for itself. It is said that the knowledge of science is compelling, certainly, but what does its compulsion consist of? In our case, the compulsion to relinquish the jug filled with wine and to put in its place a cavity in which the fluid expands. Science makes the jug thing into something negligible insofar as the thing is not admitted as the standard. Within its purview, that of objects, the compelling knowledge of science has already annihilated the thing as thing long before. Let me start that over. Within its purview, that of objects, the compelling knowledge of science has already annihilated the thing as thing long before the atomic bomb was exploded. The explosion of the atomic bomb is only the crudest of all crude confirmations of an annihilation of things That occurred long ago.
7:13.
Okay. Confirmation that the thing as thing remains nullified. The annihilation is so uncanny because it brings with it twofold delusion. For one, the opinion that science, more so than all other experience, would encounter the actual in its actuality. Second, the pretense that the thing could just as well be a thing regardless of scientific research into the actual, which presupposes that there ever were essencing things at all. If the thing ever shown themselves as things, if the things have ever showed themselves as thing, then the thinghood of the thing would have been evident. Then the thinghood of the thing would have been evident. It would have laid claim to thinking. In truth, however, the thing remains obstructed as thing. The thing remains obstructed as thing, nullified, and in this sense annihilated. This occurs so essentially that the things are not only no longer admitted as things, but the things have not yet ever been able to appear as things at all. What?
You serious?
Complicated?
What's the thing?
I don't know. That's what we're trying to find out. What is the basis for the non-appearing of the thing as thing? As has the human simply neglected to represent the thing as the thing? Its essence? The human can only neglect what has already been allotted him. The human can represent, regardless of the manner, only that which has first lit himself up from inside. Itself up from itself and shown itself to him in the light that it brings with it. But what now is the thing as such? Is the thing as thing such that its essence has never been able to appear? Maybe. That's what I'm thinking. Did the thing never come into the nearness enough such that the human could adequately learn to attend to the thing as thing? What is nearness? We asked this already. We asked in order to experience the jug in the vicinity. We represented what is effective in the vessel. It's holding the empty as a cavity filled with air. This is the empty thought as actual in terms of physics, but it is not the empty of the jug. We do not let the empty of the jug be its empty. We do not attend to what does the holding in the vessel. We do not consider how the holding itself is essences. For this reason, what the jug holds must also escape us. Wine becomes, for the scientific representation, a mere liquid, a universally possible aggregate state of matter. We left off considering what the jug holds and how it holds. How does the empty of the jug hold? It holds in that it takes what is poured into it. It holds in that it retains what is taken up. The empty holds in twofold manner, taking and retaining. The word holding is thus ambiguous. The taking of what is poured in and the retaining of the poor nevertheless belong together. Their unity you got about 10 more pages to go. We've only read 5. Their unity, however, is determined by the pouring out, to which the jug, as jug, is correlated. The twofold holding of the empty consequently lies in the outpouring. As this, the holding is authentically how it is. The outpouring from out of the jug is the giving. In the gift of the poor, their essence is the holding of the vessel. This allowing requires the empty as what holds. The essence of the holding empty is gathered in the giving. Giving, however, is richer than a mere outpouring. The giving, whereby, the jug is a jug, gathers in itself the twofold holding, and does so in the outpouring. We name the collection of mountains a mountain range. We name the collection of twofold holding in the outpouring, which together first constitutes the full essence of giving. The judging of the jug essence in the gift of the pouring. Even the empty jug retains its essence from out of the shape. Retains its essence from out of the gift. Even if an empty jug is not capable of an outpouring. But this not capable is appropriate to the jug and to the jug alone. The scythe, on the contrary, or hammer, are capable of achieving, but not capable of this gift. The gift of the poor can be a libation. There is water. There is wine to drink. In the water of the gift there abides the spring. In the spring abides the stone and all the dark slumber of the earth, which receives the rain and the dew of the sky. In the water of the spring there abides the marriage of sky and earth. They abide in the wine that the fruit of the vine provides, in which the nourishment of the earth and the sun and the sky are betrothed to each other. Beautiful. In the gift of water, in the gift of wine, there abides in each case the sky and earth. The gift of the poor, however, is the jughood of the jug. In the essence of the jug there abides earth and sky. The gift of the poor is a libation for the mortals. It quenches their thirst. It enlivens their effort. It heightens their sociability. But the gift of the jug is also at times given for consecration. If the poor is for consecration, then it does not appease a thirst. It appeases the celebration of the festival on high. Now the gift of the poor is neither given in the tavern, nor is the gift a libation for mortals. The poor is The oblation spent for the immortal gods. The gift of the poor as oblation is the authentic gift. In the giving of the consecrated oblation, the pouring jug essences as the giving gift. The consecrated oblation is what the word pour actually means, offering and sacrifice. Pour, to pour in Greek, Indo-Germanic, GHU. This means to sacrifice. Move from one state to another, some sort, I think. Sufficiently thought that and genuinely said that where it is essentially performed, pouring is, donating, sacrificing, and therefore giving. Only for this reason can pouring become as soon as its essence atrophies. A mere filling up and emptying out until merely filling up and emptying out until it finally degenerates into the ordinary serving of drinks. Pouring is not a mere gushing in or and out. In the gift of the poor, that is a libation, the mortals abide in their way. In the gift of the poor, that is an oblation, the divinities abide in their way. Divinities who receive back the gift of the giving as the gift of a donation. In the gift of the poor, the mortals and divinities each abide differently. In the gift of the poor, the earth and the sky abide. In the gift of the poor, there abides at the same time earth and sky, divinities and mortals. These four, united of themselves, belonging together, obligingly coming before all that presences, they are folding into a single fourfold. Opposites? Two sets of opposites? In the gift of the poor abides the single fold of the four. The gift of the poor is a gift insofar as it lets the earth and sky, the divinities and the mortals abide. Indeed, letting abide is now no longer the mere perseverance of something present at hand. Letting abide appropriates. It brings the four into the light of what is their own. From the single fold of this, they are entrusted to each other at one in the reciprocity. Reciprocality. They are unconcealed. The gift of the poor, what's the single fold? We're top 12 right now, 34-minute mark. In the gift, however, the jug essences as jug. The gift gathers that which belongs to giving. The twofold holding, the holder, the empty, and the outpouring as donating. What is gathered in the gift appropriately gathers itself therein so as to let the fourfold abide. This manifold and simplistic gathering is the essence of the jug. Our language names what gathering is with an old word. It reads thing. The essence of the jug can exist as the pure giving gathering of the simple fourfold in a while. The jug, essences as thing. The jug is the thing as a thing, but how does the thing essence? Thing gathers. Appropriating the fourfold, it gathers the fourfold duration each time into something that abides, into this or that thing. We give to the essence of the jug, so experienced and thought, the name thing. We think this name in terms of the issue at stake for the thing, from thinging as the gathering appropriative letting abide of the fourfold. We recall, however, as the same time old High German thing, old High German word thing. This linguistic historical reference easily seduces one to misunderstand the way we now think the essence of the thing. It might appear as if the essence of the thing now intended was whimsically spun, so to speak, from randomly snatched up definitions of High Old German noun thing. The suspicion arises that the experience of the essence of the thing now attempted would be grounded on the arbitrary of an etymological game. The opinion calcifies and even becomes commonplace that here, instead of considering the matter at stake, the dictionary alone would be deployed. Indeed, the opposite of such fears in this case. The old High German word thing means gathering, and indeed a gathering for the negotiation of an affair under discussion, a disputed case. Consequently, the old High German word thing and dink, D-I-N-C, dink, become the name of for an affair. They name what concernfully approaches the human in some way, what accordingly is under discussion. What is under discussion? The Romans name race, meaning in Greek to speak about something, to negotiate about it. Res publica, thing of the people, right? Does not mean the state, but rather that which openly concerns everyone of the people, and therefore is negotiated publicly. Top 13. Alrighty. Only because race signifies that concernfully approaches. What concernfully approaches can it lead to the compound words res adversae and res secundae? The former is that which concernfully approaches the human in an adverse way. The latter, what favorably accompanies the human. I understand. The dictionary, however, translates res adversae with misfortune, res secundae with luck. Of that which the words say when spoken as they are thought, the dictionaries say nothing. In truth, here and in the rest of the case, is not that our thinking lives off etymology, but rather that etymology, along with dictionaries, still think too little. The Roman word race, res, names that which concernfully approaches the human, the affair, the disputed matter, the case. For this, the Romans also use the word causa. In no way does this authentically and primarily mean cause. Causa means the case, and for this reason also that which is the case. That something comes to pass and becomes due. Time element. Only because causa effect, nearly synonymous with race means the case can. The word causa subsequently attain the meaning of cause in the sense of the causality of an effect. There you go. The old High German word thing or dink, with its meaning of gathering, namely for the negotiation of an affair, is thus appropriate like no other for fittingly translating the Roman word thing. That which concernfully approaches. But from this word, the Roman language, with its inner correspondence to the word race, from the word causa, and the meaning of case and the affair, they arose in the German and the Romance languages la cosa, and in French la chose. We say das Ding. In English, thing still has retained the robust naming power of the Roman word race. He knows his things. He has an understanding of his affair, of that which concerns him. He knows how to handle things. He knows how one must proceed with matters, i.e., what it concerns from case to case. That's a great thing. It's falling down. He knows how to handle things. He knows how to. One must proceed with matters, i.e., what it concerns from case to case. That's a great thing. That is a great parentheses, fine, powerful, splendid parentheses, matter, i.e., something that comes of its own accord to the human as a concernful approach. Yet what is decisive is by no means the semantic history of the words briefly mentioned here. Race, ding, cosa, chose, thing, but rather semantic history, words, but rather something entirely different and hitherto not at all considered. Top 14. The Roman word race names that which in some way concernfully approaches the human. What concernfully approaches is the reale of the race. Realitas of the race was experienced by the Romans as what concernfully approached, but the Romans have never properly thought that they thus experienced it in its essence. Much more, though, the adoption of late Greek philosophy, the Roman realitas of race, I lost my place here. Sorry. But the Romans never properly thought that they thus experienced in its essence. Much more, though, through the adoption of late Greek philosophy, the Roman realitas of the race was conceived in the sense of the Greek, now Latin, ens, means that presence is in the state and the sense of what stands here. The race becomes ens, that which presences in the sense of what is produced and represented. The characteristically realitas of the original Roman experience race, the concernful approach remains buried in the essence of what presence is. Conversely, in subsequent times, particularly in the Middle Ages, the name race serves to indicate every race quaens, i.e., everything that is somehow presencing, even if it only stands here. In representation and presence is not like the ens rationales. The same thing that happens with the word race happens with the name corresponding to race. Dink for dink means every single thing that somehow is, according to Meister Eckhart. Accordingly, Meister Eckhart used the word dink for such that, as such, for God, as for the soul. God is to him the highest, quote, highest and most elevated thing. Dink, the thing. The soul is the greatest thing. Dink. With this master of thinking by no means wishes to say that God and the soul would be the same as a block of stone, the material object. Dink is here the careful and unassuming name for anything that is at all. Thus, Meister Eckhart, following the saying of Dionysius the Areopagite, says, love is of such nature that it changes man into things. Think he loves. I'll have to stop here because we have dinner. Part 2 of this first chapter of the Breman lectures by Martin Heidegger coming tomorrow.